Every day, at least 80% of the world's population lives on less than $1 a day. The richest 20% of the world accounts for 3/4 of the world income. In 2000, the United Nations made a vow to free people from poverty. This eventually turned into the United Nations 8 Millennium Goals that were designed to help improve living conditions around the world by 2015.
Rwanda is an African country south of the equator that specifically needs help from the United Nations. Rwanda is struggling from extreme world poverty and hunger. This is the United Nations' first millennium goal, the eradication of extreme world poverty and hunger.
44.9% of the Rwandan population was under the poverty line in 2011, and 42% of that group under the poverty line lives in extreme poverty. Due to the financial struggles of the people in Rwanda, the life expectancy is only about 58 years.
Rwanda is clearly a developing nation because the agriculture industry consumes 90% of the labor force, making their key industries agriculture, soap, furniture, textiles, and cement.
This agriculture-centered economy was one of the reasons for genocide that occurred in Rwanda. In 1973, Juvenal Habyarimana took control of Rwanda in a bloodless coup. In 1988, the RPF, Rwandan Patriotic Front, was created in Uganda.
Suddenly, world coffee prices plummeted, and this significantly impacted Rwanda's economy because coffee was one of its major cash crops. On April 6, 1994, the Rwandan president was killed when his plane was shot out of the sky.
This led Hutu extremists to begin killing their political opponents. The massacre at Gikondo, when hundreds of Tutsis are killed in the Palatine Missionary Catholic Church, was the first clear sign that a genocide was occurring. 800,000 Rwandans were killed in the space of 100 days.
Approximately 1 million people, mostly Hutu, began fleeing to Zaire, now called the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The Rwanda genocide ended when the RPF gained control of the country. Currently, Rwanda has a republic economy, and there is an elected president in its multi-party system.
The genocide of 1994 decimated Rwanda's fragile economic base, severely impoverished the population, particularly women, and temporarily stalled the country's ability to attract private and external investments.
The genocide led to the decline in Rwanda's progress as a country. Other current problems in Rwanda include that food production often does not keep pace with demand, requiring many food imports. Also, Africa's most densely populated country is trying to overcome the limitations of its small, landlocked economy by leveraging regional trade.
The global downturn hurt export demand and tourism. In 2011, rises in global food and fuel prices increased inflation in Rwanda from 1% in January to more than 7% in October. Energy shortages, instability in neighboring states, and lack of adequate transportation linkages to other countries continue to handicap private sector growth.
As a group, we chose to address the first millennium goal for the eradication for poverty and world hunger. We chose this because this is one of the most outstanding problems in Rwanda, and if we fix this issue, new goals in this country could be achieved, and the country could find themselves with a stable economy and a low inflation rate.
The United States and other developed nations have attempted to send money to Rwanda in order to help pull this nation out of its struggles. But as many other developing nations, corrupt governments take the money before it can reach the struggling citizens.
Our solution to this issue is specifically aimed at the agriculture industry, which, as mentioned, consumes 90% of the labor force and is a machine rather than money to prevent the government from stealing. Our solution requires solar-powered tractors for farming.
These machines work by taking energy from the sun and using it to power an electric motor. In recent years, we have seen a shift from fossil fuels to clean solar power. This is a transition to renewable energy that will help Rwanda's production because the sun is always prevalent.
We propose to send 10 tractors to Rwanda. With each solar-powered tractor costing $25,000, this totals to $250,000.
We believe that solar-powered tractors are effective, sustainable, replicable, and impactful. With Rwanda struggling to meet food demands, these machines will make farming easier and more effective by yielding crop more easily. These machines are also realistic because the technology has been created and thoroughly researched to be feasible. It is sustainable because it meets the needs of the present but also looks into the future. The batteries tend to operate with very little maintenance needed for 15 to 20 years, compared to gas counterparts that only last 5 to 10 years.
They also are sustainable because they are a renewable resource instead of fossil fuels that will eventually run out. It is replicable and can be used by other countries in their region because it only needs to be exposed to sun.
These machines will be impactful because it will yield more food, helping them to meet their food demands, which will lead to less poverty and ultimately less hunger. More food will also be available because farmers will be capable of handling larger plots of land with this new technology.
Other UN Millennium Goals will be met because the child mortality rates will also drop with the prevalence of food. The imports will drop because the majority of the current imports are food, and exports will increase, which will help to stabilize the economy. To follow through with this plan for the first year, we will send a UN representative over to Rwanda to check on the technology and machines every 3 months. For the years to follow, we will send a representative over every 6 months.